Okay, so what do you think your writing process is like?
Um, what I do, and this has been recently, um, and I think it's reflected in things I've done in the past. I will think about an idea, and I usually come up with a rhythm first. Um, Rhythm being like meter, just something simple like I'm going to write an iambic pentameter, which is like to boldly go where none have gone before, like that kind of thing. I'll just come up with a rhythmic idea. Um, and I'll fill that in with a concept that I'm thinking of. And I won't really wed myself to, is this a verse or a chorus? It's just some lyrics or an idea. And then I'll sit down on an instrument and feel out those rhythms and lyrics and see what melodies they produce. And so it's sort of like, um, Stephen King described his process, and I think that mine is like this too, where sort of like you're out in the woods and you uncover something and you're digging something up. Like, what is this? I only see a little bit of it right now, but I'm going to unearth it and keep working at it until I pull it out. And I really don't have control over what it is I find. Um, it just is what it is. And then um, from there, I will make sure that whatever I come up with can exist as a independent idea, like on an iPhone or something where, yes, this is a coherent song. It has verse, chorus, and verse. And I think in the past, a lot of times I've been gotten into trouble where it's like, oh yeah, I'll just fix this. I'll come up with a chorus in Pro Tools, or something. And that's a bad idea for me because it won't work. It just won't sound good. Um, so I have to have a song. So if I have a song, I'll go through like a demoing process where I might set up a real microphone and uh, a real session where I do like just a 4 track of it and make sure, okay, is this really a song or is that just in a moment? I'll put them aside and then I'll pull them back out and then I judge, okay, yeah, I got something I like. So it's sort of an unearthing more than anything.
Do you ever or have in the past you ever gotten writer's block real bad? I know some of us do.
I used to, and that was the hard thing. I think I've said this before that if I were now, if I could go back to being my 21-year-old self who had a record deal and was asked to write, I feel like I could do it now. But back then I was like, oh my gosh, how do I write a song? I sit down and like come up with crap. It's like, I don't know where October came from. I can't tell you that. And so a lot of my process over the past 30 years has been, where does that come from? How did I do that? And in every situation, it's been unearthing something. And the thing I know about myself is I'm never a good judge of what's good.
Mhm.
Uh, I think about October as sort of like my case study of my life, where I um, I didn't think the song was very good because it's got this little yodeling part in it, and there's not really a chorus, and then it changes keys at the end for no reason, and so like I'm thinking this, I'll play it out, and then when I played it out, like everyone was like, "What was that?" Like, "Oh, it's this new song." It's like, I like that. Play that again." So it's weird. I didn't think it was very good, but it ended up being something.
Hey, when I saw Athenaeum the first time, you were playing guitar, and I bought Lessons of Autumn that night. So it was at your all's merch stand.
And it cuts both ways. I'll think, man, this song is killer. And then you like play it and you open your eyes at the end, the room's empty. Like, well, that didn't work out. So I just don't know. I mean, I can't tell. And I think some of the process of making a record is sort of whittling down the things that you find. You don't want to show all 20 of your trinkets that you've found in the woods. You want to show the best 10 that make sense together.
Yeah.
Um,
Do you ever feel like you have something, any personal issues that you have to overcome to do, I mean, performance or writing? Like,
um,
I know some people have anxiety and that kind of thing.
It's the weirdest thing. I used to get stage fright when I was like 15, but something like happened on the road with Collapsis where I really just don't care about what someone thinks about my performing. Like I just don't get nervous on stage. Um, but where I do struggle, and I'm not like, I have perfectionism issues with recordings
Mhm.
where think I'm fixing something and then I'll correct it, and then two more things emerge. They're
Yeah.
like, I can do this, and that's the problem with digital. Is like you can undo anything. But I remember when we were making Lessons of Autumn and building a whole, you just lived with what, the mistakes, and you didn't go back and fix them because they were done to tape.
Yeah.
Um, so that's my biggest issue as an artist is perfectionism and letting go of stuff. And some of the records were really difficult to make in
Mhm.
that respect because it's like being the only producer or person that works on it until someone hears it. It's like the tunnel vision is ridiculous. Like you think, oh, this hi-hat sound isn't quite right. And no one's going to care, you know, that the hi-hat is a little bright, So,
All right. I guess one more lighter question now
yeah,
is, out of everybody in the world, who do you think would be the number one person you'd like to collaborate a song with?
alive or dead.
Well, maybe alive. Let's
Alive. Okay.
either or. How about that? Or both. One-
Well, man, I tell you, it depends on. Okay, I got it. Okay, dead. It would have to be Prince.
That's a good one, man.
You listen to like Prince, and you're like, song featuring Ani DeFranco. Like, really? And then you listen to it, she plays the acoustic guitar on it. It's great. But I mean, that would be something where I would have loved to have just sat in his band and see what he was up to. You don't collaborate with Prince. He tells you what to do. So, I would have liked to have been like a new power generation guy, just doing something. But, um, I think it'd be really cool to collaborate with Robert Plant.
Okay.
Um, but not necessarily in his capacity as a Zeppelin singer, but like what he's been doing lately has been
Mm.
just earthy and really cool. And he's brilliant. But he would be someone I would collaborate with if I could.
Yeah, like just do a co-write kind of thing with.
Yeah, just see what comes out. I mean, because his latest records are awesome, and they're nothing like Zeppelin. I mean, it's
Yeah.
totally different. It's more of a folksy, earthy thing than, I mean, Zeppelin had acoustic tracks, but they were the greatest stadium rock band of all time. So that's not what they're sort of known for.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I guess we'll take one more quick break and then we'll see one more tune.
yeah.
That's
Watching every moment, waiting for the end to come. Minute after minute, silence on the ocean. Then one day I met you. How could I forget you? Angel wings with dovetail eyes and an albatross smile. Why did you follow me down when you had so far to run? But now you hang your cross and sail on. With everything you say you've lost, half asleep in semi-gloss, sweet like cherry applesauce, bitter like this moment. Why did you follow me down when you had so far to run? And now now you hang your cross and sail on. Why did you follow me down when you had so far to run? And now you hang your cross and sail on.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Is that a newer song or is that
Yeah,
a?
that's a brand new song from my brand new record that's going to come out this summer.
Yes.
Yeah, it's called Semi-Gloss Albatross is the name of that song. It's the title track on the record.
Awesome.
So I mentioned that idea of just feeling like you're at sea, and so many people would just come in and out of your life in this experience that I had, and I wrote about them and just what I saw them going through. I just sort of sat vicariously and watched all this happen, and it's a record. It's cool,
Yeah, man, I had no idea.
Yeah, it's coming.
Just
It's coming.
enjoying the stage it shows, man.
Yeah. No, it's good, man. It's a good thing.
That answers that question of what's next.
Yeah,
So,
it's I'm in the process of adding as little as possible to the record, which is it's a different posture, I think, than what I've learned to be the thing. Like you want to make it bigger than ever, but here I'm just trying to reduce it to, and it's ended up being just what you heard, piano and vocal, with like 3 songs have overdubs, very minimal ones at that. So that's good,
cool. So it's more of a piano driven now that's your new
Uh,
instrument kind of thing.
Yeah, and I wanted to see what would happen, and what happens when you approach a new instrument and as honest as you can. What
Yeah.
happens? I feel like that's what this record's about. Um, it's cool. I look forward to sharing it with everybody.
Well, yeah, not you had mentioned being a perfectionist too, man. I have my
Yeah.
issues with
Oh,
I do. If I miss a note in a song like that I'm playing, that's what's hard about playing. I on the stage it kind of Facebook Live thing. I don't know how you've done it or overcome it, but the first couple times it's like it was harder for me to perform here for
yeah.
nobody than it is to perform in front of 100 people.
Right.
So,
It's a totally different mindset. I mean,
yeah,
it's because I think you have to take into account how people are watching. They're sort of they're not a captive audience. They can not pay attention, or they can do their own thing. But the idea is that you're not going to hear what they're doing. There's going to
yeah.
be a no applause, but you just figure out how to get through it.
I'll say after the first, I think 2 or 3 times, I knew that something good was happening, and when somebody started trolling,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
like man, so like some guy just kept being a jerk, like, and would just show up like the second half of the show, and it'd be like play Skinner. And I was like, I actually looked out and said, and you've really let me know that if you're taking a chunk of your life
Hmm.
to spend just trying to annoy me,
Hmm.
that means that I must be something special to you to
Yeah.
take the time to do that. So
I think trolling's sort of like a hobby, like fishing, or
yeah.
it's, people just do it, and some people are good at it. Some people are just I don't know. I mean, it's unnecessary, but it's a part of the online thing where you
Yeah.
can have this level of anonymity and be a jerk.
Right. Hey, it happens. All right. So, like I said, I know you have some things to do. And
Yeah.
we've had a
Yeah, it's
good,
been
nice
good.
interview session, man. I've
Yeah,
enjoyed this.
it's been awesome.
So,
Thank you, Chip. It's so cool for you. Thank you for asking me. I mean, like, just sitting here. So
hey,
my,
man. Hey, one quick question I forgot to ask earlier. Do you think being a father figure now, having two children, has affected your songwriting process?
a little bit, and I think, my family's like, hey, you can write a song about me. And it's like, well, that's not how it works for me. I describe this process of unearthing things. And if it ain't there, it ain't there. I mean, it's not like I'm going to fight the river on that. But, in this new record, I did write a song that I feel like it's written from the perception or perspective rather of not necessarily being a father or a parent, but being part of a family that's going through a lifetime, if that makes sense. And it's the same sort of whimsical feel of that last song, but it's more focused on sailing to a place, you
Okay.
know. So yeah, it has, and it's slowly creeping in, but it's not like, hey, this is a song about my little girl, and here she is, she's gonna dance around for you, and I just not that kind of writer,
Yeah. I know it could be rough, man.
Yeah,
Having the little ones.
where's my song?
Oh, mine are the ones that just beat on the door while I'm trying to write a song.
I take that back. I did write a song for my son. It's like, Lord, Iclamane of the lesser valleys, smiting enemies with sword. The Green Lantern and the Joker had a battle in the morning. That was the song I wrote for him. And so,
Maybe you could
but
or
like that's not me. It's
oh, sure it is, man. It's obviously you're doing that. You could just remember that one when you were 7.
yeah.
That
Oh,
would
it
have
was
been
something like, nah, it wasn't even good. It's like, nah, I don't know what it was.
so. Okay, speed round then. What's your
Yeah,
favorite city to perform in?
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh.
Hmm.
Okay. What's your favorite album?
Automatic for the People. REM.
That's my favorite album too,
It's
man.
great. Isn't it good?
Yes, dude.
Okay.
The second half of REM's career, not so sure about, but everything from the beginning to about Adventures in Hi-Fi, my
Yeah,
favorite band in the world.
so good.
So, all right, your favorite band?
Beatles.
The Beatles. We definitely have a separation
Yeah.
there. I'm learning.
Yeah.
Um, so do you have a short amounts, especially with how things are now, of advice you'd like to give anyone trying to become a musician these days?
Be yourself because everyone else is already taken. I think that's the best advice. That was an Oscar Wilde quote, I think. So, um, don't be afraid to channel what it is you're hearing and try not to gauge it on whether or not people like it, but whether you feel like you're saying something. I think
Yeah.
that's the important thing to remember. Like, what do you have to say? Because ultimately, people connect to things because there's a story there and they see themselves in that story. Um, and everyone else's stories their own.
But so, final question for the evening,
Yeah.
and this might be one of the most important ones. Do you have any head shaving tips?
Yeah, man.
Because you always have had the nicest shaved head, and I've just recently started, shaving mine. We were at a town hall meeting, and somebody had taken a picture from the back of the room, and it
Mhm,
showed up online, and I realized, oh my God, that's what my hair, that's what I'm developing the horseshoe.
mhm.
So I chopped 15 years off my life, and I didn't know, is it a daily thing?
Yes.
Okay, so
My regimen is this. I do shave every day except one day a week, either Saturday or Sunday, because I don't work that day. I let it grow out to let my skin relax, because if you're shaving every day, uh, for me, I'll get, it gets irritated. So,
yeah.
um, I don't use a lot of salves and oils and things. I had this one friend of mine. He had the most incredible looking shaved head, and it was always like, bam. I'm like, what do you do? He's like, I use cocoa butter. I'm like, I don't know if I'm into that. It's like, yeah, I don't like it. I smell like chocolate all the time. So, everyone's got a different thing, but for me, I'll use, like a soap or a rich soap and lather it up and shave that way versus shaving cream, because something about my skin likes that better.
Yeah.
Everybody's different. Most important thing though is to make sure you do change your razor frequently, in a way that doesn't break the bank, but also make sure you don't get like ingrown hairs and those kinds of things, because a dull razor is not your friend.
Yeah, I noticed that first. I started using tea tree oil though, and it
Yeah.
seemed to any of the kind of, I guess, whatever you want to call them that pop up,
Yeah.
they all started kind of cleaning up some. So
But I use a Gillette Fusion.
okay, that's why I use on my face. So
Yeah, Gillette Fusion is, I think, the best for it curves with my skin and my head shape. So that's, I mean, I once had like almost a sponsorship from the head blade company, and his blades were fine. I just didn't like the process. He was like, "Don't shave against the grain." Like, well, I do shave against the grain. That's how you get it nice and smooth. So anyway,
wow. Okay,
um,
cool.
no, no disparaging against the head blade company. They're a great company, but it's like, it just wasn't for me.
Yeah. Well, maybe maybe Gillette Fusion can see this last minute and at least give some kind of discount these days, because I know we all need a little bit of a discount.
Yeah.
Maybe we have a Sam's Club down the street that I can buy like huge packs of the Fusion razors. Anyways, once again, Mike, thank you so much for the
Yeah.
first attempt at this. My quarantine sessions are going to be things like this, all the way to just, I don't know if you saw the first one, but just a description of one of my guitars back here.
Yeah. Do it.
So it could be a 3-minute thing. It could be a 2-hour thing. So.
Yeah. I'll be like 10 more minutes.
Okay, what should I preheat the oven for?
Put the pizza stone in.
Okay.
450.
450. Hi, Chip.
Hey, Holly.
Yay.
There she is.
Hey, I'll definitely make sure that this part is in there.
Oh, nothing.
Okay.
You're good.
450 pizza stone.
Yes, we're making pizza tonight, so quarantine pizza.
Nips.
She's my summer machine. Yeah, yeah, yeah.